knew there was such a brouhaha? Hello everybody, welcome back, and if you're new, my name is Chris. Today is a highly requested video. What are my top 10 favorite designer scents? Who knew there was such a brouhaha going on about what is a designer scent and what is a niche scent? In my line of work, you can be either a clumper or a splitter. In other words, somebody who splits hairs or somebody who just clumps things in categories. Today, we're going to be clumpers. For the purposes of today's video, if you make fragrances and that's all you do, you are going to be in the niche category. If you make fragrances but you make other things, I'm going to consider you a designer fragrance house. So if you're interested to see what my top 10 designer fragrances are, keep watching. Several of these fragrances I have had for many, many years, and I have purchased bottle after bottle. Some of these fragrances are relatively new, within the year or so, but what I can guarantee you is that you will not see me declutter any of these within the next year or two. I really believe that these fragrances are true loves and can stand the test of time with me. Now, I think it's going to be really hard to do a top 10 designer fragrance list without having at least one Chanel in that list. And I'm going to start off with an oldie but a goodie for me, and it is something that I really don't talk about, but it is a fragrance that I love, and it has stood the test of time, and it is Chanel Tendre Tendre. I absolutely love this fragrance. Let me tell you something. If I compliment somebody else on their fragrance, 9 out of 10 times, it is Chanel Tendre Tendre. This is a fragrance that just appeals to me. I think it is so beautiful and likable and pretty. I would describe this as a very pretty, likable scent, and I have not gotten sick of it. In fact, I had a really, really good coworker who changed jobs, and she used to love it when I would wear Chanel Tendre Tendre, and when she left, I actually gave her my bottle, which was fairly full, and she loved it, and I thought, I've had it for a while, I can live without it, and you know what? My fragrance collection or wardrobe just felt incomplete. I really, really love and adore this fragrance. It smells so, so good. It's just clean and fresh, but it's not too citrusy. There are florals in here, but it's not overtly floral. And the dry down is just a sweet, clean, ambery musk. This is one of the few fragrances that I think smells really, really good year-round. I love to really wear it in the spring and summer, though. It's just beautiful, and this is going to start my list, Chanel Tendre Tendre. Since it is the summertime, I had to pick something with coconut in it, and this was an easy pick. I've had this fragrance, I think, since it came out. I never get tired of it. I think it smells so, so good. It smells great in the summer, and it is called Bronze Goddess by Estee Lauder. This is the Fraiche version. This is like my 3rd or 4th bottle. I just cannot go a summer without wearing this. It is just so gorgeous. It's got, I love citrus fragrances. It's got citrus notes in the beginning. I think it's like lemon and orange. Then it has just some really pretty soft florals. Probably tiare, jasmine, magnolia for sure, and I know there's lavender. Yeah, but what I think makes this fragrance really special and super appealing to me and quite beautiful is there is this sandalwood and amber that kind of smooths everything out and blends it so perfectly. It makes it a little bit tropical, and it's a tropical fragrance. And it's got coconut milk or coconut water in it. I just love it. Absolutely has stood the test of time with me. This was an easy top 10 for me, Bronze Goddess. Next up is a fragrance I got at the beginning of this year, but I tell you, it rapidly shot up to the top of my list. It is so beautiful, and it is probably my favorite affordable fragrance right now. It is by the House of Trussardi, and it is called Trussardi Donna. I absolutely love this fragrance. If you haven't smelled this yet, you're missing out. It is beautiful. You do have to like citruses, you have to like florals, but other than that, I think it's incredibly likable. So there's citruses in here, there's yuzu lemon. Yeah, it starts off like a yuzu lemonade, and then it kind of moves into really pleasant, soft florals. Orange blossom, I believe there is lotus in here, and I think there's jasmine. It's just so, so pretty, and the dry down is sweet and creamy. It dries down a little bit sweet. There's sandalwood and a little bit of vanilla. Gorgeous fragrance. It screams summer. It screams vacation. And this is something that I will be enjoying in my fragrance wardrobe for years to come, I'm quite sure. Next one up made the list quite easily because in my opinion, it is a perfect signature scent. It is just class in a bottle, and it's a beautiful, beautiful fragrance by the house of Guerlain, and it is called Guerlain, Mon Guerlain, and this is the EDP Intense version. I tried them both out. I like this one better. It has more vanilla. It still has all the usual notes, patchouli, lavender, vanilla, and sandalwood. This one has more vanilla. The lavender's toned down, and it lasts much, much longer. This is absolutely just a beautiful fragrance. Like I said, I can see this being anybody's signature scent. It's just gorgeous. I think this would easily go from day to night, and I would wear it all year round. I absolutely love this Mon Guerlain, the Intense version. I'm going to try to speed through these, as you can probably tell. A couple of my videos recently have been extremely long, and it's because I can be a little bit loquacious, shall we say. Members of my family would use another word, but I like to use loquacious. It sounds better. Anyways, the next one up, didn't have to think about it. I knew it was going to make my list. This is a stunning fragrance by the house of Bottega Veneta, and it is Bottega Veneta. This is hands down signature scent worthy. Gorgeous fragrance. I absolutely love it. In my opinion, the person who wears it is just classy, elegant, chic. They are just put together. When I want to feel put together, I wear this fragrance. It's a beautiful chypre. It's got pink pepper, patchouli, leather, oak moss. Gorgeous. This is one of the few fragrances that when I wear it, people have actually, chased me down, tapped me on the shoulder, and asked me what I was wearing. It smells great, but it must smell really good on me as well. So Bottega Veneta, absolutely top 10. Next up is a fragrance that hasn't been getting a lot of love recently because it just, to me, it wears better in the colder weather, but when the colder weather comes around, a couple months, when fall peeks its head around the corner, I will be getting this bottle out and wearing this fragrance constantly. This is my third bottle. It's not going anywhere. It was a no-brainer that it was going to make this list. It's by the house of Givenchy. I don't see a whole lot of people talk about it, but it's so gorgeous, and it is called Ange du Monde. I've had this for years, ever since it came out. It was a gift to me from my spouse, and boy, he just knocked it out of the park with this one, and I've loved it ever since. It's just it's a darker, beautiful, more sensual fragrance. It has mandarin in it. There's saffron. There are some lovely white florals. I know for sure there's orchid in here. There's orchid and lily. That's what it is. It's very powdery on the dry down, a little bit woody. And when I describe this to my friends, I describe it as root beer and cherry chapstick came together, made a fragrance, and then you put in some lovely white flowers like orchid and lily, and here's your fragrance. Gorgeous. Another one that when I wear it, it must smell really, really good on me. People, and these are people that don't really like fragrances, they ask me, what are you wearing? It smells so good. So gorgeous. Yeah, Ange du Monde by Givenchy made my list. Next one up was not a shoe-in. I wasn't sure if it was going to make the list. There were others waiting in the wings to take its place, but I ended up choosing this one because the first hour of this fragrance is utter magic. I love the way this smells, and it is by the house of Tom Ford, and it's called Lost Cherry. Let me tell you, the first hour, I can't stop smelling myself when I wear this. It is, oh my goodness gracious, this is a syrupy, boozy maraschino cherry. I mean, I eat maraschino cherries from the jar, like by the dozen. They're so good. And this, I don't know how he did it, but he managed to make a fragrance that just smells like the best maraschino cherry liqueur, but better. I love it. The dry down on me is very, very different. It's still nice, but it does change a lot. It starts to get a little bit more, a touch bitter. I think that might be the almond. The almond in here is a little bit bitter. And it kind of dries down to like a woody cherry tobacco on me. Still smells lovely. I don't care. I overspray this one. I would never pay retail price for this, even though I love it so much. Never. I got this at the cosmetics company store, paid over, either I got this 50 or 60% off. I'm okay buying it for that price. Wouldn't pay full retail price. So if you like this one, go to the cosmetics company store. I actually just went to mine a couple weeks ago and they still had bottles there. So lovely, lovely one. Lost Cherry. The last three on the list were absolute shoo-ins for this video. There was no way they were not going to make it in the top 10. And the next one is Coromandel by Chanel. Love this. I got this 2020. Fell head over heels in love with this. This is how I want to smell in the colder months. I could wear this. I have worn it a couple times in the warmer months, particularly at night. And this is easy as signature scent, but this is what I prefer to smell like in the colder months. It has everything, all the notes that I love in a fragrance. It has patchouli, it has amber, it has incense. Those are some of my favorite notes. And there is a nice, subtle sweetness from white chocolate. This is the Eau de Parfum in the Les Exclusive line. Gorgeous fragrance. I mean, this is, in many, many ways, this is me in a bottle, particularly in the colder months. I love it. Cormandel. Now, these bottles are not in any particular order, because if they were, this next fragrance would be, if not at the top, towards the very top, and it would be in my top 10 of all time. This is definitely a desert island fragrance, and it is by the House of Christian Dior, and it is called Gris Dior. I absolutely love this fragrance. This could easily, again, be my signature scent. One of the easiest reaches in my entire fragrance collection, because I just think it's just so beautiful and well done. And in my opinion, it is the perfect rose patchouli chypre. Yeah, I can't say anything bad about this fragrance. To make it a chypre, you know, it has a citrus note, it has bergamot, it's got rose, patchouli, and of course oak moss. I also think this is timeless. Sometimes chypres can be a little bit dated. This is a timeless chypre. I love it. It's beautiful. And this one is not going anywhere. Gris Dior. Rounding out the list is, in my opinion, one of the best designer fragrances of all time. For a while, it got about as close to a signature scent for me as I was getting. And this is, I think, my third bottle of it. And it is by the House of Narciso Rodriguez, and it is Narciso Rodriguez. For her, this is the EDT. The EDP that comes in the pink bottle, I love it equally as well. But this is just a timeless fragrance for me. I love everything about this fragrance. And it was one of those fragrances that when I smelled it the first time, when the sales associate showed it to me for the first time in Sephora, it completely blew me away. It was different than anything that I had ever smelled, and I knew that I had to have it, and I have been wearing it ever since. This is, you know, a beautiful orange blossom. There's a little bit of that osmanthus note in here, and you know, it's got that Narciso Rodriguez musk, but the musk in here, it kind of dries down to a musky patchouli. And the musk in here is very different from the musk in the cubes. The musk in the cubes to me is a cleaner musk. This is a little bit of a dirtier musk, which in my opinion, I just think it does so nicely with the notes and the patchouli. Yeah. And this is a fragrance that I would wear whenever I was going to be around people and I didn't want to offend people. It's a quieter scent. You have to be in my scent bubble. And every time someone would give me a hug, they would say, "Oh, there you go again. There is that beautiful smell. You smell so good." And people would say, "I love to give you a hug because you smell so good." So easy, easy. one that made my top 10. So I love it. I've been wearing it for years, and I don't think this one is going anywhere anytime soon also. So that does it, my 2021 version of my top 10 designer fragrances. I will be doing the niche version. That one scares me. That one is going to be much harder to compile. And then after that will be my top 10 desert island fragrances. Boy, that's going to be a fun one to put together. Thanks again for watching. For everybody who subscribes and supports me, I really appreciate it. Thank you for sticking around, and I will see you for the next one.